We're going to bring Shaun King in, guys, after a quick reminder that FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and with the NFL playoffs right around the corner, it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel. Right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins. FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up a W. Not only can you bet on who will win the game, but you can also bet on which players will score a touchdown, how many points each team will score, and so much more. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. That way you'll be set for the biggest games of the year. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And with that, let's welcome in Shaun King to the show. How you doing, Shaun? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody. And please don't put Darius Garland and LaMelo Ball in the same sentence or conversation. One is an elite basketball player. The other one should be a fourth option on a championship team. I'll let you guys decide which is which.
Wait a second, Shaun.
I sure hope you talking
Darius. He's not an elite player. He doesn't make anybody better.
I sure hope you mean Darius
Who's he
is an
making
elite
better?
player.
Absolutely not. I've told you guys, and listen, shout out to the show, man. I live in Vegas, and there are more people that have come into my private cigar lounge that are from Cleveland or visiting Vegas that watch this show. So shout out to you guys and supporters. I'm telling you, I'm repeating what I said earlier. If Darius Garland is your second option offensively, you're not winning a championship.
Well, he's not the Cavs' second option, but he's a hell of a player.
Most nights he is.
No, I disagree with that.
You out of line.
Hey, Shaun out of pocket. Everybody out of pocket in 2025.
You out of line. You need to cut this out right now. You out of line. I can't believe
buy
you.
The Darius Garland hype. I'm just telling you, you set yourself up for a letdown.
Has LaMelo Ball?
He out of line.
It's okay.
He out of line.
Has LaMelo
you know what?
Ball?
I pray. You better pray that when these playoffs come, you better pray. You better pray that Darius don't go off. You better pray. Yeah, because I promise you, I will send you every GD stat live from every game.
In big moments, Darius shoot like the basket moving, man. You know how you have to match the baskets up on the video games, man? Come on.
Damn, Shaun. All right, well, look.
I was trying to look at Ball's playoff stats, but here's the problem. He's never played in the playoffs.
Hey, Shaun, look, I ain't never been on the panel when you've been on the show, man. You do great work. I got a question for you. I know you're not high on any of the quarterbacks that's in this class, right? But hypothetically, if the Browns said we're going to take a quarterback with a top 3 pick, in your opinion, which quarterback coming out fits the Browns best?
I think Cam Ward is the most talented. I don't think any of them are deserving of being high first-round draft picks, but they are because of supply and demand. I don't think that's the right environment to bring a high draft pick quarterback into. I mean, who's going to mentor him? Deshaun?
No.
Like DTR, to put a young quarterback into that environment, I think is like self-destructive in a lot of ways.
It'll be Kirk Cousins.
No, I think Shaun, you and I are on the same page. I know we've argued a lot, but you and I are on the same page here. I think the Browns are making a huge mistake if they draft a quarterback in the first round. They need to fix other things on this team. And to bring in a guy like, if there was a quarterback that you were sure was an absolute sure thing, okay, that's a different story. But when you're talking about quarterbacks who have question marks, as you mentioned, as these guys do, I'm not messing with that when I'm the Browns. It's not the right time.
Well, I don't want to misspeak, but I thought the restructure of Deshaun's deal kind of guarantees that he's back on the team next year.
So, they said for the next 2 years.
No, it doesn't guarantee it.
Makes it highly likely.
Yes.
And so, young quarterbacks are very impressionable. So to put a young quarterback into that environment, I just don't think that's the right thing to do at all. And I'll say this. When you watch Cam Ward and you watch Shedeur Sanders, here's the feel I get. They're less talented versions of Caleb Williams. Like, their game mimics Caleb's game. It's a lot of ad-lib. It's a lot of run around, make plays. They just don't have the arm talent or the elite athleticism of Caleb. So I truly think if they don't go to the perfect situation especially Shador, they're going to struggle. Now, I think Cam's a slightly better athlete than Shador, but he's also fundamentally very unsound. And so I think both guys, if in a perfect world, I think both guys are draft and sit for a couple of year kind of guys if they want the best chance for success.
Let me ask you about your boy Jameis, because it was coming out in this article that was just written a couple of hours ago that Jameis, once he found out he was becoming a starter, he went to Kevin. Kevin said, my staff will handle you and those things. My question is, you seen the offense that Jameis was a part of. Do you think he would have been better suited had he been in Kevin Stefanski's scheme or his offense? Do you think he would have done better?
I still think Jameis is the best fit at quarterback.
We know.
I still do.
We know. I hope if he gets re-signed or whoever signs him, you better tell him that you want 2%, 3%, because you have been his best agent that we've seen.
Well, but here's why. It's only because the film doesn't lie. And I'm telling you, at that position, I'd rather say whoa than sick him. Now, does he get careless at times with the football? Yes. Be honest with yourself. Have you ever thought the Cleveland offense at any point was more dynamic than when Jameis was at quarterback?
No.
Had the capability to create explosive plays, made the game kind of exciting to watch, entertaining. Like, that's what he brings to the table. You don't get that when you see DTR. You didn't get that when you saw Deshaun. It was just frustration.
Sean, let me ask you this. Forget Mahomes for now.
Okay.
You're the general manager of a team. Forget contract. Contract doesn't matter. Let's assume they all have the exact same contract. You're starting a team right now. 3 choices. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Who are you taking?
I can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. I agree. But
Yeah,
who are you taking?
I'm the kind of guy, like, I don't have to diminish or demean LeBron to say that I think Michael Jordan's the greatest ever.
That's fair.
So I'm just gonna say I can't go wrong with those 3 guys. I think they all are championship caliber quarterbacks. You can win a championship with either of the 3, so I wouldn't go wrong. But I'll be honest, if you gave me one quarterback right now, moving forward, I'd take Jaden Daniels.
Whoa. I love Jaden Daniels, but wow, you take him over all 3 of those guys?
Yep, he's younger.
All right, he is younger. I'll give you that.
That's
but
funny.
He hasn't reached that status yet, though, but you think he's going to get there.
When you got it, you got it. It's like when you know how to evaluate sports, you don't look at Darius Garland and say that he's better than LaMelo Ball.
Wait a minute.
It's about understanding sports.
Hey, what about, I'm curious.
You don't think that he will suffer a sophomore slump like some people that I know?
C.J. Stroud?
I think he's more talented than CJ. You know, CJ is a very accurate quarterback when he's on his game. He throws the ball in rhythm. Like, Jaden is a Lamar Jackson caliber athlete. And he has immense and elite arm talent, and he's bigger. I mean, at least height-wise than CJ. He's probably got to add a few pounds, but I mean, a lot of what's happening to CJ, too, is things are breaking down around him. I do, for the first time in his career, think that he's getting a little emotionally hijacked as well. And to play that position, you have to have bulletproof emotions, but he'll learn from it. I'm not down on C.J. Stroud.
Yo, Sean, back to what Tyvis was saying about the marriage between Jameis Winston and Kevin Stefanski. If the Browns were to consider Jameis like being in the plans for next year, based on like what we read in the article, you know, he went to he assumed he was going to be running Kevin Stefanski's offense. He went to Kevin once he found out Ken was the play caller, asked him basically what's going on. And Kevin was kind of cold shoulder. My coaching staff, I handle you. Like, the Browns need Jameis kind of more than, you know, Jameis need the Browns, in my opinion. If I'm Jameis, what is it about Cleveland that makes me want to return just after this year?
I mean, I do feel like he rejuvenated and revived Jerry Jeudy's career. I think before Jameis was the quarterback, people were looking at Jeudy as a bust, like that trade is a debacle. And all of a sudden, you know, maybe that relationship, you know, I would be, if I'm not speaking for Jameis, but if I was Jameis, I wouldn't trust the Cleveland organization after they bench me. You know, and I get it. The turnovers were there, but hey, man, look, it's not like the team was going anywhere anyway. and we're trying to win. I'm already trying to win. I'm never going to apologize for being aggressive and trying to win. Now, I've got to do a better job of understanding situational football at times and when to be aggressive and when not. But, again, I'd rather say woe than sickle. To answer your question directly, it's probably come down to options. What other options are out there? If Cleveland's the best option, then stay. If he gets an option to go somewhere else, potentially be a starter, then I'd say take advantage of that as well.
Okay, so let's say that Jameis decides to come back to Cleveland. Let's say that they even now announces him as the starter for next year. If you're Jameis, what are you asking for change-wise? If you have the power to do that, what needs to change, whether that's the staff, whether that's the play calling, whether that's position groups? What is one thing that you want for Jameis to help him succeed for next year with the Browns?
Well, the first thing I want is for Jameis just to spend some time with me. And let's go over risk management. Just give me about 2 weeks. And let's go over every interception he's thrown in his career. Let's evaluate the risk factor and quotient and start really pouring into him about not to be less aggressive, but when to be as aggressive, if that makes sense. Secondly, I think what Cleveland has to decide is who they want to be. If they want to be a downhill, hard-nosed running team, then you got to address the offensive line, and you've got to address the running back position. Teams that run the ball effectively now either have an elite number one or they have a stable of 2 or 3 guys that are all legitimate, i.e. the Detroit Lions. Or you got to have a Saquon or a Josh Jacobs or one of these guys, or Derrick Henry. And no offense to Nick Chubb, but Nick Chubb did not look like the Nick Chubb that, we know. Jerome Ford is not a number one back. He's a complimentary back. He's a guy that can help you on special teams from a return situation. Pierre Strong's not a number one back. And, of course, everybody knows DeAndre Foreman isn't. So get the talent and the skill set there if that's what Stefanski wants to be, which is a run-first team, and do it. I'd also tell Njoku, you got to come with me, man. We're going to start from square one. Your stance is garbage. Like your back hurt when you lined up out there. Your route running is bottom third for the tight end position. Let's really work on lowering our hips, getting in and out of breaks, and help those guys improve and get better and where they're deficient. Then you got to add, last thing, you got to add a receiver opposite Judy, a legit one.
Shaun, last thing. If the Browns got you off the couch today, could you give them a better chance to win than DTR?
First of all, I'm not on the couch. I'm in my office. You see behind me.
All right. If they got you out of the office chair.
And secondly, absolutely not. I'm not going to disrespect DTR like that. But I did say the worst thing that happened for DTR was to get put in the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to stay on the sideline and have people think you can play than to get out there and actually have to show people whether you can play or not. And in this situation, it's a lose-lose for the kid.
Yeah. Shaun, good stuff, man. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, give me a LaMelo Ball jersey. LaMelo Ball jersey, man. This Darius Garland stuff has to stop.
Nobody's going to LaMelo Ball's game, so there's probably a lot of shirt jerseys available.
You out of line. You need to check yourself. You need to check yourself.
Be great today, man. Happy New Year.
See you later.
I'm going to get a text from Shaun after this being like, screw the quarterback breakdown. We're breaking down LaMelo Ball and his 31-point on 43-shot performance against the Toronto Raptors. We appreciate Shaun, though.
That was a big performance.
We'll see him soon. We're guys going to move over to